favorite breakdown commentator, CTV. Welcome to another riveting episode of the Consciouztv platform. Sorry for the delay. Had a little team meeting, then had to return some phone calls, etc. Y'all know how that go, okay? Business is business, all right? But you guys know what we're here to get into. I meant to put Chris Breezy's name up in this bitch because we're going to start off the show talking about y'all favorite R&B ass whipper. Before we go ahead and get into this, I need you guys to go ahead and thumbs up the video until it's absolutely stuck. You guys know that thumbing up helps the YouTube algorithm, but more importantly, it triggers up YouTube notification system, all right? So when you are thumbing up the video, you are literally knocking on the digital door of another Consciouz Crew member and letting them know to get their black asses into the sanctuary. Thumbing up don't cost you nothing. So whether you are a part of the Replay Gang, you are a Bush baby, or actively in these streets in real time with me, thumbs up that video. All right. Also, shout out to all the new subbies. Teamwork makes the dream work. We do it all here. So welcome to the platform. And please make sure that you have your notification bell set to all. And last but not least, please share the stream out to wherever it is you have digital community, whether that be your Instagram story, your Snapchat, your VGC, your MySpace, your Facebook, your Twitter, the dark side of OF or Tumblr. I don't really give a damn where you lay the link. Just let them force know the real loud live and in color. With no further ado, let's go ahead and push on through.
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, let me shout out to my contributors first and foremost, because you guys was throwing coin on the nigga during the T on top of T panel. Thank you so much, Isaiah, for your old nasty piece of cash app for keep hanging Kang on period. You guys know that all donation information is in the description box. $ Consciouztv and or paypal.me/Consciouztv if you love and support the motherfucker Kang. Okay. How's it going? How's it going? All right, so girl, it's a lot going on. You guys know that we've been in our political bag the past week, getting into this 2020-24 presidency, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, y'all new coming pending dictator, Donald motherfucking Clump. Okay, it's been a lot going on, honey. I told you guys we was gonna start the week off with some much needed celebrity tea and just kind of lighten the load and kind of balance the energy, because it can't be all work and no damn play. All right. There's a lot happening under the sun. If you guys didn't get a chance to catch tea on top of tea, make sure that you guys check us out, honey. We got into a lot of Kim, P. Diddy stuff, honey. It's a lot going on, and we're going to be revisiting that in this stream here. Now, because I did a lot of coverage during the Megan Thee Stallion, Tory Lanez, Kelsey, come to find out Harris, you know, that whole saga, girl, we had it going on, honey, from front to back. We had ground troops, people running up into the courthouse, giving us real-time tea, calling in during the lunch break, honey, to tell us what was going on in the courthouse, honey. It was a lot going on. So I will be dropping the link because I'm curious to know what you guys actually, you know, think and feel now that Tory Lanez's driver's affidavit has been published. Now, this is an old affidavit. I remember Megan Cunningham or whatever the attorney is. I think she has a YouTube channel too. But she was posting about this affidavit about several months ago, 9 months ago. She had actually seen it. Nobody could get access to it at the time. And she did state on Twitter what the affidavit actually reads, which is that the shooter did not see who pulled the trigger, even though he saw a lot of preliminary activity. prior to things going pop, 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 girl. All right. But we're going to get into all of that because it got the conversation started all over again. But before we get to Miss Meg and Tory and Kelsey and Diddy and Kim, if anybody has access to the transcript from Kim Porter's book, I need you right now, okay, to email a bitch at consciouztv@gmail.com. Consciouztv spelled just how it is right here on the platform, consciouztv@gmail, honey. If you have access to that transcript, you know where it is because apparently it's out. I don't know if it has leaked, but if you got access to it through a link, a download, a PDF file, baby, if you got to mail it to me, Amazon Prime, okay, expeditiously, let me know, okay? Consciouztv@gmail.com. But let's get into y'all favorite violent ass R&B singer. I don't know what they got into these R&B ass niggas. Like, a lot of them just done got real gangster. You know, a lot of them just swinging and banging, honey. I can't tell the difference between these ninjas. And their hip-hop counterparts. But according to... Okay, hold on. Let me give y'all old nasty visual, child, for one. Y'all know I love me an old nasty piece of visual here. Hold on. Let me pull both of these ninjas up. All three of these grills up. Hold on. Thumbs up the video, child. Because this is a patriarchal hot mess, girl. Toxic masculinity at its finest. Let me go ahead and share. I'm so sick of y'all men texting me, grill. Always trying to get up in these delicious cakes, child. Okay, hold on. Which daddy is this? You ain't gonna guess. Hold on. All right, let's do it. Okay, courtesy of people.com, girl. Chris Breezy is facing a new $15 million lawsuit after arena security claims that they were injured after alleged concert assault. 15 million, y'all. Get into this. Chris Brown is now facing a new lawsuit after the singer and several members of his entourage were accused of attacking 4 men at his concert in Fort Worth, Texas last Friday night. In the new complaint, Frederick R. Overpeck, a staff member and head of back security at Dickies Arena, is suing the hip-hop star as well as his crew, Conway Hood Boss, a.k.a. Omalu Amari Akinlulu. Girl, that sounds like an old nasty Chucky spell, bitch. Okay? Giving Wakanda Forever, Greer. And Saniko Chic for $15 million. Live Nation Brown, tour promoter, is also named in the filing. According to the suit, the former correctional officer tried to protect the 4 men who were allegedly assaulted: Larry Parker, Joseph Lewis, Charles Bush, and DeMarcus Powell, and now claims that he can't work because of his very severe ass injuries. In the complaint, Overpeck alleges that the first punch was thrown by Brown, 35 years of age, and that he's the one who orchestrated the violence that occurred on July 19th. Quote, the plaintiff, Mr. Overpeck, attempted to intervene to stop the violence, the suit reads. Plaintiff was instead thrown out of the way, while at the same time, Chris Brown yelled racial slurs, demanding that his entourage join in and beat the 4 fans. Overpeck claims that he tried to protect Parker as he was cornered in a stairwell and got himself in between the victim, Parker, and most of the attackers. Quote, unfortunately, the attackers, to include Chris Brown, did not stop the violence, the complaint reads. Quote, they instead continued to kick and stomp victim Parker and in the process repeatedly kicked plaintiff as well, severely injuring him. Overpeck described the alleged assault as prison yard beatdown and says that he narrowly escaped. According to the suit, his actions, quote, likely prevented further injury or even death for the alleged victims. Now Overpeck needs treatment for a cracked vertebrae in his neck and claims to be unable to work. Reps for Brown, Live Nation, Conway, King Lulu, and Sheik did not immediately respond to people's requests for comment. In a filing from Sunday, July of 21st, Brown, his crew, and Live Nation were sued $50 million for the alleged brutal, violent assault of 4 concert attendees. The complaint obtained by People claims that Brown and Conway, Hood, and Shinko brutally and severely beat Parker, Lewis, Bush, and Powell in what was allegedly an unprovoked attack backstage at Chris Brown's concert. The suit took aim at Live Nation, who continued their relationship with the No One Else singer despite his history of bad conduct and violent conduct. At the time, reps for Chris Brown, Live Nation, Conway, Akeem, Lulu, and Sheik did not immediately respond to people's requests for comment. In a statement on behalf of the plaintiffs, attorney Tony Busby said, quote, "This is Texas. The people here do not care how important or famous you think you are. You have an obligation to follow the laws and conduct yourself in an appropriate way. Unprovoked violence can't and won't be tolerated. We intend to seek all damages that the law allows Brown and his cohorts, to include punitive damages." Allegedly, Brown and his entourage were throwing chairs and repeatedly kicking, stomping, and beating the plaintiffs. Quote, "The brutal, violent assault participated in and directed by Chris Brown severely injured all the plaintiffs," the filing read. Per the lawsuit, the 4 men were invited into the VIP area of Chris Brown's concert, where they had allegedly been waiting for the R&B singer for 30 minutes. When they were tired of waiting, Bush says that he made his way to the exit, where he congratulated Chris Brown on his set. At that point, one of Chris Brown's entourage members allegedly reminded the singer that they were beefing and reminded his accomplices to fuck Bush up. The plaintiffs then claimed that they were cornered in a hallway and attacked by 7 to 10 of Chris Brown's crew as they tried to leave. One of Brown's entourage, known by the alias Cinco, ran to the left side of the crowd and punched Bush in the chest, the suit claimed. Simultaneously, another of Brown's entourage, stage alias Hood Boss, picked up a chair and threw it at Bush's goddamn head. In the complaint, Brown allegedly told Conway and several others to fuck Parker up, which left him badly beaten. The suit also claims that Parker became trapped in a stairwell where he was then attacked by Brown and others. The 4 plaintiffs all needed medical treatment. The alleged victims have requested compensatory and punitive damages in excess of $50 million, in addition to actual damages that include pecuniary losses, pain and suffering, disfigurement, mental anguish, and past, present, and future medical expenses. God damn, baby. Talking about a prison beat down. Okay, Chef Caramel ASMR says that got those court docs and the restraining order docs. It was the guard that kick-started the lawsuit. His name is Frederick, okay? So as you guys heard, the security guard claiming, girl, he was just doing his job. And he tried to protect the alleged victims in this case, girl. And all of them ended up with their necks broke, their eyes plucked, girl, and their asses completely and utterly whooped. And now they're wanting $50 million for the situation. All right. My God, today. I don't know what we're going to do about Chris Brown. Chris Brown has had a repeated, long-standing history of abuse. His victims know no gender, from women to men to ex-girlfriends. I don't know what to say. This is why Kelly Rowland was getting dragged, last year or year before last, at the American Music Awards, when she received a trophy, a trophy, girl, a win on behalf of Brown. She took his shit and her name since he wasn't there to receive his award, girl. And she got chewed out, okay? She was pressed, girl, about y'all booing the shit out of Chris Breezy. Chris Brown needs help. And I think it's really reckless of Chris Brown to continue to just put his wealth and his well-being on the line, considering that he's also a father. Chris Brown needs to grow the fuck up. He's at the big old age of 35 years old. I know that light-skinned ninjas are known to be hyper-emotional and to have a lot of toxic, feminine-ass energy. But at this point, girl, like, after Rihanna, Chris Brown should have found himself in front of Iyanla, getting his damn life fixed, because that was his ultimate second chance. But then again, when you are allowed to continue to rise to the top of charts and you are continue to have a thriving career and there's no real system holding you accountable despite people suing you civilly, not criminally, but civilly, there is no real incentive, right, to act better. So Chris Brown clearly is under the belief that he can't be canceled, that you guys are not going to cancel his ass, that he is Superman and there is no kryptonite on the planet, bitch, and he's going to continue to be a menace unto society and use y'all's concert going dollars and y'all streaming dollars in order to fund his lawsuits from these plaintiffs. All right. I totally believe the security guard, because once again, this is a part of Chris Brown's long pathology of fucking abuse. And these men could have lost their life that night. Chris Brown was going so hard, to go so hard for a nigga who didn't even know that he was beefing with the niggas that they were beating on. Like, Chris Brown had to be reminded by one of his non-GED ass homeboys that, oh, we beefing with these niggas. So he was willing to put his brand, put his legacy, put his well-being, even put his stupid ass homies in the line of fire over a beef that was so insignificant, girl, that he couldn't have picked these niggas out of a Million Man March because it obviously wasn't that deep. It just goes to show you how mentally unstable Chris Brown has to be and how petty and toxic he is. No. Yeah, you can send them to me, Chef, at Consciouztv@gmail.com, honey. Send you all the tea. Or of the tea, honey, at Consciouztv@gmail.com. Kelly be dragging herself. Baby, I just want to know what y'all gonna do about y'all baby daddy. Like, what y'all gonna do about it? Okay, because I don't listen to Chris Brown. He been stopped making good music to me. I don't think I've listened to Chris Brown since It's Never the Right Time to Say Goodbye, Girl. Like, that's probably the last Chris record that I did. So yeah, 50 million in the tank. That man gonna get his coin, girl. But moving along, Tory Leprechaun, no wig having ass lanes, baby. He is crying aloud from a prison album, girl. He's in his Remy Ma bag. And his driver, his ex-Uber and Lyft driver, is out here stirring the pot because of a finally released affidavit. According to allhiphop.com, Tory Lanez driver admits that he didn't see who shot Megan Thee Stallion. Tory Lanez was sentenced to 10 years in prison for ooting Megan Thee Stallion. His driver did not testify in trial. California prosecutors contested that Tory Lanez request for a new trial after he submitted an affidavit from his driver, Jaquan Smith, a witness to the 2020 ooting of Megan Thee Stallion. Smith claimed the prosecution did not allow him to testify in Lanez's 2022 trial. Smith said he saw Megan's former friend Kelsey Harris holding a GUN during an altercation between the two. The driver acknowledged that he did not see who shot Megan, but noted that Lanez attempted to disarm Harris. Quote, Miss Pete, Megan, and Miss Harris began fighting, Smith explained. I pulled over to stop them. Miss Pete and Miss Harris both got out of the vehicle and continued to fight, both verbally and physically. I broke up this fight and was pulling Miss Pete toward the back of the car. I saw Miss Harris with a GUN in her hand. Mr. Peterson, aka Lanez, ran from behind Miss Pete and myself toward Miss Harris. Mr. Peterson and Miss Harris began struggling as Mr. Peterson tried to unarm Miss Harris. I was still pulling Miss Pete and did not see who shot the weapon. I was not harmed. In my opinion, Miss Pete was also fortunate. The whole incident happened so quickly. Smith added, quote, I wanted to present this evidence during Mr. Peterson's trial, but was prevented from doing so as the district attorney was not ready to cross-examine me, and later they did not call me back due to the holidays in the court schedule. I believe I should have been allowed to present this evidence at trial. Lanez, who was found guilty of ooting Megan, cited Smith's affidavit as evidence warranting a new trial. Prosecutors disputed Lanez's arguments, mentioning how his former attorney refused to call Smith as a witness in court. The California Attorney General's office insisted Smith's side of the story wasn't previously unknown evidence. Wow. Quote, given these circumstances, defense counsel conceded that Smith would not have been a helpful witness because his bias and the cumulative nature of his proffered testimony. Deputy Attorney General Michael C. Keller wrote, quote, recognizing that an independent eyewitness had placed the GUN in the hands of Harris prior to the ooting, defense counsel explained that it would not do anything to have appellate's friend say the same thing. Had to sneeze, y'all. My bad. Lanez was convicted of assault with a semi-automatic firearm, illegal possession of a firearm, and negligent discharge of a GUN for ooting the victim in 2022. A judge sentenced the short man to 10 whole years in prison in 2023. Okay, so girl, it's given that he would have been worthless. Obviously biased, and recognizing that the independent eyewitness had placed the GUN in the hands of Harris prior to the ooting, defense counsel explained that it would not do anything to have appellate's friends say the same thing. So, interesting. I still think I'm gonna call cap on that a little bit because everybody else was an eyewitness, okay? How the fuck are you gonna pull Kelsey on the stand, who you could have argued would have been biased for Meg or biased for Tory, since allegedly he offered her $1 million following the ooting, and claimed that he would buy her all the wigs and bundles she could ever need in one lifetime, if she just operated on code. They also interviewed Megan Thee Stallion's, her stylist at the time, the gay guy. He testified. Sean Kelly, who had all this damn niggerment going on, in his front yard, testified. Tory Lanez could have testified as well, but he chose not to because that's what his stupid ass incompetent attorneys encourage him not to do. So, I mean, Daquan's testimony still should have been welcome, even though I too also probably would have caught bias as well, because if Tory was around here offering Megan, who also claimed that she was offered $1 million, Kelsey allegedly was offered some things and some amenities and some assistances, and we ain't talking about the government, girl. Okay? When they met outside of the hotel following him being released from custody the next day, then of course the driver was more than likely paid off very well to lie and to be biased, etc. However, I still find it interesting that despite Tory and him being friends, he could not identify the Uter. So maybe the driver wasn't in fact paid, girl, because if I was Tory, it would have been paying his ass to say that Kelsey pulled the trigger, bitch. Like, I'm not gonna pay you, girl, to be in the middle. Like, if you're gonna pay somebody, bitch, you're gonna pay them. You know, if you're paying for a clear cut across the board situation. The fact that even the driver, who is Tory's friend, was not willing to absolutely, without benefit of a doubt, matter of a factly, place the ooting in the hands of Kelsey is very interesting. Something else that he seemed to corroborate was that there was a physical altercation, one that was denied by Megan vehemently, who claimed that that was a preposterous narrative. Why the fuck would her and Kelsey be swinging and banging? We all finally got to hear Kelsey's side during the trial when the DA played a pre-trial interview during a deposition with Kelsey, who had her attorney and had her husband in tow, where she told a very clean across the board account of what happened that night. Kelsey, and I believe that testimony because she didn't skip a beat. Kelsey ass didn't stutter. She didn't shake. She didn't stumble over her words. And in nowhere in her narrative did she ever allude to or say that there was a physical altercation either between her and Meg. However, what's interesting about this is Daquan is saying there was a fight. And Sean Kelly, the elderly man whose home this was, who was overseeing this whole predicament from his balcony, claimed that it appeared to him that both of the women were strapping and swinging and banging. Apparently, a part of the evidence that was collected at the scene involved fingernails, necklaces from Megan, Kelsey, etc. However, these are injuries that could have occurred as a result of the altercation that Kelsey said she had with Tory when him and her got to whipping each other's ass because she was trying to intervene on behalf of her friend Megan. Okay, there was images presented of Kelsey at the trial showing a massive bald spot where a ponytail used to be, girl. Okay, it was given very much so cemetery in the middle of the head, girl. It was given bald plot. Okay, no tomb on top yet, girl. Okay, he had just done snatch her shit clean off, girl. Okay, right from the root, honey. I don't know whether she grew that back or she got an old nasty piece of 4x4 closure, girl. A nasty piece of 4x4 HD closure, you know, in the circumference of the meteorite crater that was right there at the top back part of her head, girl, that she claimed that Tory Lanez had done snatched, balded it. She also had bruises and marks all up and through and down her thighs. You know, she had visibly been beaten, girl. Okay, she was looking like, you know, Tina Turner after a love-making session with Ike. So somebody whooped Kelsey ass, okay? Now, here's the thing. Somebody lying. Somebody lying about this physical altercation. The question would be, why would Kelsey and Megan lie about not fighting if they in fact fought? Why would Sean Kelly, who is totally a non-biased witness, he don't know none of these niggas, okay? He just had his damn binoculars out there, girl, like Scooby-Dooby, honey, investigating the tea at 4 a.m. in the morning, girl. But then when I think about it, right, Megan Thee Stallion is the same one who didn't want to admit that she had fucked and sucked on Tory. Maybe because by the time she had to really speak to the nature of that relationship, she was too embarrassed, because who wants to admit that they slept with their abuser? Who wants to admit that, right? But then I also think about Megan Thee Stallion's brand. Hot girl summer, bad bitch. You know, we run niggas, niggas don't run us. So I could surmise that it would not have fit Megan Thee Stallion's brand to be in a situation where she looks like a digmatized Hollywood Hills hooker, okay? And then when I fast forwarded to Kelsey's live stream that I think was done maybe a year later, where she was like, come to find out, you was fucking on a nigga that I called dibs on first. Come to find out. And then she went into this whole Kelsey Luther King speech about how it was really a shame and a scandal that Megan had allegedly lied to her the whole time that she was fucking on Tory, because Meg had put Kelsey on to Tory during a Rock Nation brunch. That's how Kelsey and Tory initially intersected. And according to Kelsey, you know, Meg was encouraging her, like, you know, like, fuck with him, girl. Like, throw that puss, bitch. You know, like, we need to keep him in proximity, girl. He gonna be having a hot boy summer during the pandemic, honey, and I want a clout chase, okay? I don't really want to give him the pussy, girl, but, you know, this is when you come in as help, all right? Water girl. So she started allegedly doing whatever she was doing, and then she didn't find out that Megan was already to the front of the line, girl, and had already put a tip on the dick, until Tory brought it up in the SUV, while Kelsey caught herself trying to help her friend in this back and forth verbal altercation between Kelsey and Meg. So he called out, I don't know why you defended Megan when I'm fucking off on her. Did she tell you that? So he used that truth as a way to deflect from Kelsey assembling like the damn Avengers and attempting to jump him with Meg verbally. So she was like, girl, in the live stream, she was like, girl, like, I don't like, we used to laugh at girls who did this. Like, we run niggas down together. You know, you pick them, I get them. You know, we used to laugh at dumb bitches who get caught up in niggas and let niggas be the end of their friendship and their sisterhood, etc., girl. Like, we badder bitches than that. So what was the whole point of you keeping that from me? And then why would you put me on him if you wanted to be on him too? So when I think about the both of these women and their attitudes, I think it's very well possible that they both could have beat the hell out of each other at some point during that night. Some sisters, girl, swang and bang in the name of truth and justice and love. I need some water, bitch is parched. In the name of truth and justice and love, girl. Because both of these women had too big of an ego, I believe, to admit that they fought. Because they knew that if either one of them admitted that publicly, that they would look like they were the girls who they were so, that they found so embarrassing. Like, they would have looked like those girls. So I think that both Kelsey and Meg had enough of an ego to not want to acknowledge their physical altercation, because it just would have made them look like pressed sluts. Even though that wouldn't have really been what they were fighting over. What Kelsey would have been whipping Megan's ass over is the principle of the matter. Not that you fucking a nigga that you put me on to, because according to Kelsey, right, Kelsey had 3 and 4 damn niggas simultaneously. She had her nigga. She had a nigga in prison who she was having a whole damn prison affair with. The nigga in prison is who the hell she called while they was in the back seat of the SUV After the ooting, girl, she had to call like 2 of her niggas. Okay? Giving them the location. She had to reached out to Meg's bodyguard and said, hey, Tory just ooted Meg, help. Okay? So I think Kelsey was upset over the principle, over the breaking and breaching of girl code. Like, this ain't about a nigga. This is about you lying, sis. Like, this is about you, like, not having no integrity, sis. Like, if I can't trust you to tell me about a raggedy ass nigga that neither one of us really want to be with, both of us only playing, you know, with bite-sized penis, then girl, how can I ever trust you in like a situation that is really going to require some real goddamn trust? So I do believe that there was a fight. But let me get some water, okay? Listen to some waiting room music, girl. Okay, I'll be right back, honey. Let me get some water, honey, because I'm not gonna be going through the train. All right.
All I know is to be no reason. All I know,
I'll be right back.
all I know is to be no reason. All I know is to be no reason. All I know, and you know, look at what happened. All I know is to be no reason. 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 All I know, and you know, look at what happened.
Who nosy ass was over the balcony, girl, being a looking ass nigga. All right. So I do believe that there was a fight. However, I do not believe that Kelsey ooted Meg. The affidavit does not really clear up anything because Mr. Deshaun didn't see a damn thing, ironically. Even though GWORLLL powder was found on both Kelsey and Tory, but that already should be the case according to Sean Kelly's testimony and to Daquan's, and even the Kelsey's, because at some point Tory and Kelsey was actually fighting, so Kelsey would have came into contact with the gun. Now let me tell you my theory about the GWORLLL. I do believe that Kelsey more than likely had the GWORLLL in her hand, but I think this is what happened, because I believe Kelsey's original testimony, even though she redacted the altercation that I believe that her and Megan had at some point, she just left that out. But she was telling the truth about what she was speaking. I think because Megan has cleared Kelsey, like Kelsey did not oot me, Megan has verbatim stated that. Kelsey has stated, I did not oot Megan. Sean Kelly saw Tory Lanez ooting Megan. Daquan did not see Kelsey oot Meg. But also, strangely enough, Tory Lanez himself refused to put the GWORLLL in Kelsey's hand. That's the biggest kicker here. The man who's serving the time for the crime he's alleging he did not serve, refused to put the GUN in Kelsey's hand. So nobody can put that GUN in Kelsey's hand as it relates to ooting. And I believe the reason why Kelsey had access to the GUN at any point is because Kelsey knew where the GUN was. Maybe it was in the back seat already. Maybe it was sitting under somebody's chair and doing all this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It slid from under the chair. She got a hold of it. And I believe that she acted as the gatekeeper of the GUN because both Meg and Tory was arguing down. And she felt that either one of them niggas could use the GUN on each other, considering how hostile things had become. So I believe that, yes, she had access to the GUN, but more so she was just holding on to it to make sure that neither Tory or Megan got a hold of the GUN, honey, because things might have became very, very unfortunate. Okay? But then once shit got heated and Meg and Tory was going at it, I believe that Kelsey was cussing out Tory, still trying to have Megan's back. Because that's what Kelsey was very clear about in her interview, was that, you know, she got her ass whooped by Tory because she was trying to stop this man from further injuring her friend. She had initially jumped in their fight because she was having her friends back. And she had maintained that posture from top to bottom. You know, even took these injuries on behalf of Meg. Meg was also in the back seat with Kelsey. Meg also paid for Kelsey's expenses when it came to taking her ass back to Texas after she had just packed up her shit and moved to LA to continue to work for Meg. I don't believe Meg is so goofy and delusional that not only would she have falsely accused Tory of ooting her, but on top of that, she would have actually helped the bitch who did pop her ass go back to Texas, etc., girl. Because even if I had that much of an ego that I would not have wanted to tell the truth about the situation in the hypothetical that Kelsey had shot me, even if I didn't want to say that out loud because I just would not have wanted that to look like, I just wouldn't like how that looked, girl. Like, me and my bitch fell out over an irrelevant ass, dumb, ugly ass nigga. Like, the fuck? That's just really embarrassing. And yeah, she popped me, bitch. But, you know, whatever. Even if I wasn't going to tell on her, I wouldn't have did nothing else, bitch. Because at the end of the day, bitch, you did pop me. What I'm not going to do after already saving your ass, because now I just kept your ass out of prison, and I'm protecting you publicly, bitch, I ain't got no incentive to go over and beyond by also paying your rent and paying for your travel and paying for you to get back to Texas, girl, and you the one that got me down there to the urgent care, girl. So I don't believe Meg was that delusional. I don't believe she would have did all that if Kelsey had shot her. Everybody put that GUN in the end in in Tory Lanez's hands. Sean Kelly's testimony was interesting because he said initially he saw the girls. It looked like there had been an altercation. It had been broken up. And then Kelsey had walked around the other side of the vehicle to where Megan was. Megan and Kelsey was communicating very loudly. Megan was in somebody's yard. Kelsey was more adjacent to the vehicle. He could see this because he was on a balcony. He could oversee the other side of the SUV and see Kelsey and see Meg. He had not even seen Tory Lanez at this point until he heard a man's voice coming from the car. And then he said initially he thought that Kelsey had ooted Meg because Kelsey eventually got back in the vehicle. Once she had moved closer to the vehicle to get in it, he didn't see her anymore. And then all he saw was fireworks shooting from the direction of the vehicle. So that's why he thought Kelsey initially was the Uter. He said, but as the fireworks were going off, that's when he saw Tory with his arm extended, shooting, pow, pow, pow. The fireworks were coming directly from Tory at this point. Once again, Sean Kelly saw that GUN in Tory's hands. Kelsey ain't say that Tory shot Megan, but she said she damn sure didn't. Tory said Kelsey didn't shoot Meg. Daquan can't say emphatically that Kelsey did. And the weird thing about Tory Lanez clearing Kelsey's name is, then who else would have been the Uter, baby? It only could have been you and Daquan, and his name ain't came in this mix at all in no relevant way. And then what's going on, Nosy? And then, to make matters more worse, we had that infamous jailhouse call from Tory ass to Kelsey. And he's doing all the apologizing. That makes zero sense. And it was that piece of evidence that sealed his motherfucking fate in front of those jurors. Because how are you locked up and charged for gun possession, etc., and you innocent? Why would you be apologizing to the person who is being argued to be the actual Uter? Why would you be asking Kelsey where is Meg and how's she doing if you believed or if you knew that Kelsey had shot Meg? Because that means that Megan knew that Kelsey shot her, which means that there would have been no way for Kelsey to know where the fuck Meg was, because Meg would not have been fucking with Kelsey at that point. Meg was damn sure not going to tell her where she was going, her whereabouts, her location, etc. And then why would Kelsey, who's on the phone with a apologetic, deeply remorseful, damn near in tears, Tory Lanez, who's apologizing but won't even clarify what he's apologizing for because he's a jailhouse nigga and know that the call is being recorded. Why would Kelsey be outside of the hospital? Because if I just shot my best friend, bitch, do you think that I'm going to be acting as innocent girl as Kelsey was? Girl, I'm going to be on the first thing smoking to the Mexican border, girl, for criminal immunity. I'm going to be first thing across the border, girl, Jada Pinkett Smith, and set it off, girl, bald head and all, with a knapsack on the bike in the Greyhound, girl. Okay, headed on down there to the borderline, girl. Because y'all about to lock up who? About what? Okay. There would have been no way, girl. I would have been sitting around had I popped my best friend, girl. And there's no way that my best friend would have been goofy enough, bitch, to pay for me to get my life back on track back in Texas if I had indeed put a bullet in their ass. Girl, we friending, but girl, ain't that much friending in the damn world. So, of course, Tory did it. And Jaquan's affidavit is almost just as much of a receipt that Tory did it, because Daquan, being Tory's friend and employee, had the perfect opportunity to exonerate and liberate his boss and his friend by simply saying, when I turned around, I saw Kelsey shooting Megan. baby, this probably would have landed in a mistrial. Tory Lanez would have been out right now. Like Daquan's testimony single-handedly could have really scrambled the board. So why would Daquan, who has a loyalty to Tory Lanez, who was directly there, he could be a believable eyewitness, just as believable as Kelsey, just as believable as Meg, just as believable as Sean Kelly. Why would he not have taken the perfect opportunity to exonerate Tory, his friend who he know is facing not only 10 years in prison, no, at this point it was like 20 plus years and deportation. And that's your nigga. That's your nigga. You know why? Because as much as Daquan wanted to support his friend, as much as he did not want to see his friend in prison, as much as he was willing to testify on the stand, as much as he was willing to be a witness, a defense witness, he wasn't willing to testify to a lie because he actually got a conscience. He would have been willing to tell them the truth in hopes that the truth was enough to, if nothing else, get them a mistrial situation. But he wasn't willing to lie. And I think the situation with Daquan is super deep because he has loyalty ties to Tory. So let's say Daquan didn't see who ultimately pulled the trigger. Once Tory told him the next day, once he got out, because remember, he didn't have nobody else's number and all that shit. He only talked to Kelsey from jail. He didn't talk to Daquan. But when Tory was released for the gun possession charges, because at this point they didn't know that Meg had been audit. You know, he didn't get charged for ooting Meg initially. The DA came and did that later. Because remember, she initially went to the hospital for glass. She didn't want to tell the people what had really happened, thinking that they would have ended up as Black Lives Matter victims, girl. But after Tory told Daquan, I didn't shoot Megan, Kelsey did. Because that would have had to be what Tory told Daquan. Or what Daquan did was he muddied the truth. Because he, in fact, did see Tory. But because he didn't want to rat his friend out, he did the, I don't know. I ain't see no weaver. I ain't hear no weaver. I don't know. But had too much of a conscience to explicitly incriminate Kelsey. Especially since Kelsey was also kind of a part of the team and Tory was trying to keep Kelsey close to make sure that she didn't explicitly incriminate him in the situation too. So Daquan couldn't have thrown Kelsey completely under the bus, but at best, I don't know. I didn't see. So I'm also willing to believe that Daquan saw who pulled that trigger and knew that Tory did, because that's the only thing that makes sense. Because I'm willing to believe that niggas are so ignorant, and niggas are way more loyal to each other than females are to each other. Niggas will do the crime together and do the time together. Because even if he had not seen who shot Megan, once Tory told him the next day Kelsey did it, why would he not just took his friend's word for it? And then when he sat down with investigators, he just said Kelsey shot her. And really, had confidence in that because his friend, his bro, whose back he want to have, told him that Kelsey did. And if he said Kelsey did, then Kelsey did it. But Daquan didn't do none of that. He instead played the middle because either he truly didn't see who did it, or he know that Tory shot Meg, but he wasn't willing to rat his fucking homeboy out. So he said he didn't see anything. Either way, this doesn't do Tory no favors at the end of the day. Because between Daquan's I don't know, and Kelsey's I didn't do it, and Meg's he shot me, and Tory's clearing Kelsey of the crime, and then Sean Kelly, the non-biased witness, saying, I saw the fireworks coming from Tory Lanez as he exited the vehicle. The fact that Tory's team is still trying it is bizarre. And the fact that Tory single-handedly knows who did it, but refuses to say who did it, I don't know what does he expect at this point. You won't say who did it. There's enough circumstantial evidence to make you the ooter in this case. And you're going to still claim that you're innocent, but you also were a witness to the event, and you refuse, just like Daquan, to explicitly put the GUN in the hands of Kelsey. Now, somebody asked me a question. I'm going to roll up here so quick. Blata says, why would he be apologizing to the ooter if he's in jail at the time for a crime they committed? Molden Culture says she believes that Tory ooted Meg. Sean Adams says that to me, it's funny that the two girl stories are so much alike, from them neglecting to speak on their fight to step by step that night is so strange, especially with the intoxication. Because Meg and Kelsey are telling more of the truth. That's why it's so in sync, even though they're at odds and they're enemies and they're not even speaking. And yet they both have the same story. Because what they said was more so how it actually went. Daquan and Sean Kelly are only relevant kind of toward the end and the conclusion of the events of that night. But that's a good point. Tory apologized. Lost and Found says Tory apologized for playing with their feelings. Very plausible that he felt this entire situation was his fault for playing them. The gag is, that's not what Tory said in the call. Tory could have easily said on the phone with Kelsey, I fucked up because I should have never been fucking two friends. I'm so sorry for putting you in a situation. You don't deserve that. Megan doesn't deserve that. I was a sleaze bag. I shouldn't have outed the situation the way that I did, just to curb an argument and to get you off my ass. If that, he later said that in a song and in a post, but on the jailhouse call, he didn't clarify that. And why would you not clarify that, since there's no crime in fucking two friends? There's no crime there. It's a moral crime. It's an ethical debate, but it's not a fucking crime. So why would you just not say, I apologize? No, he couldn't clarify it because what he couldn't say over a non-secure line that's being recorded and listened in on by the fucking feds is, I'm sorry for shooting Megan. Because if he could say, I'm sorry for fucking two friends in a song and in a post, he could have said it on the phone. But we all know why he didn't say that on the phone, because that wasn't the truth he was apologizing for. He had the full capacity to clarify it after the fact in the music, after the fact on Twitter, after the fact in a live stream, but not on the phone. He couldn't clarify it, but also knew that Kelsey clearly knew exactly what the fuck he was apologizing for. That's why he didn't have to say nothing. You saw it. You saw it. You know what I did last summer. What's understood don't need no motherfucking understanding. The initial game plan was for them all to walk away from this. But Megan began to feel gaslit because Tory had received a call from somebody he alleged that was probably adjacent or directly from Roc Nation, who told him to sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up. And if he did so, everything would be cool. But that actually made him paranoid rather than give him some confidence. So then he started trying to get ahead of shit, thinking that shit was about to drop and that people was about to start spilling tea. And in a state of paranoia, thinking that Roc Nation was about to circle the block with his ass, he ended up doing a live stream and called himself questioning Megan's story, which is dumb because Megan hadn't even spoken out yet. He started leaking little shit, saying little shit. Megan has finally came out with it. Bitch, I did not. Oh, actually, this is what happened. He received the call from somebody, apparently from Roc Nation, who told him, sit down, we'll take care of this. You just fall back. That made him more paranoid. But Megan was also getting dragged because people were like, girl, glass. You know, you was fighting, da 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 da. So she was like, bitch, I ain't step on no glass. I actually got shot, you dumb assholes. Once Tory heard that, Tory really began to feel, between the ambiguous phone call he got from Captain America over there at Roc Nation to now Megan done let it be known that she was shot. She didn't step on glass, even though she didn't name him. Tory absolutely believed that, oh, they coming, bitch. They're coming, girl. So then, like a paranoid nigga, he jumped out the window, trying to get ahead of the story, and then eventually Megan had to spin the block. Tory shot me. I don't know why you acting stupid. And now we here. Had Tory not said nothing, had Tory just beyond his paranoia, he ain't trust these niggas. Once again, he got the note to his house. I know what you did last summer. He couldn't hold his mule, but had he did so, his ass might not have ever manifested the reality he did. Had he just fell the fuck back and let Meg be ambiguous while never explicitly going into details about who, what, when, and how. And then he kept being antagonistic, even putting the leg of a horse in his diss video to Meg, a decapitated one that was being stored in a refrigerator, being sold for dinner. And then to make matters worse, out of Kelsey, Meg, Daquan, Tory is the only one who has a pathology of violence, laundry list of violence. He whipped August Alsina's ass. He punched Prince from Love and Hip Hop Miami in the mouth. Prince had to sue him. Tory settled out of court with Prince, paid for his dental and medical. He's threatened rappers in the past. He was damn near in a physical altercation with Travis Scott. Prior to that night, he had already also been caught with an unregistered GUN in his vehicle and drug charges. Tory Lanez was a mess. And he was attempting to be about that Canadian life. To make matters worse, Tory Lanez has no credibility. we already had known he was a liar, because the night that August Alsina posted pictures of his severe injuries, bleeding from the mouth, bleeding from the face, Tory Lanez initially denied that he ever even ran into August Alsina. He literally posted to Instagram, what the fuck is this nigga talking about? I was at the studio. Only for the footage to drop of Tory Lanez running down the hall away from a battered and beaten August Alsina and high-fiving fans on the way into the elevator as a result of what he just did to August Alsina. But lied publicly with a bold face. I have no idea what August Alsina is talking about. I was in the studio. This nigga is nuts. He's delusional. He's a fucking liar. Came off rather convincing too, because the pictures of August Alsina did look a little staged. But turns out they were real. So with Tory being the one who has a very violent history, having no credibility, known to not tell the truth, lie in the face of the public, same shit, different day. So my synopsis is Kelsey did have a GUN at some point, not because she planned on ooting anybody. I believe that she held on to the GUN because the block was too hot in the vehicle and she did not want Tory or Megan to use it, which ended up being the case anyway because he wrestled the GUN from her. I believe that when Jaquan in his affidavit called himself going over to Harris or Tory going over to Harris, that's what they were fighting over. They were fighting over the GUN. Yeah, he was trying to wrestle it from her hands. Not because she was trying to oot Megan, but because he wanted the GUN to, in fact, oot Megan. She was initially just trying to keep the GUN from being in either one of their possession, since they were clowning each other so bad and cussing each other and dog walking the fuck out of each other the whole way through and through. And yes, she was upset with Meg, but at the same time, she was still clear. This is my boss. I make a good salary off this bitch, so I need her to survive, and I need her ass to be alive. I'm mad at that bitch girl, but I ain't that mad to want to kill the hoe. I ain't that mad to want to kill the bitch. I just tied up my little 1 bedroom, 1.5 bathroom, little condo girl with my poodle bitch. I just got on Spirit Airlines and survived the flight, girl. Spirit Airlines didn't turn me into a damn spirit bitch. I got my whole future ahead of me, girl. Okay, I'm not trying to go back to being an administrative assistant. So, girl, she had every incentive, girl, to make sure that, in fact, bitch, Megan could live to see another day, so that Kelsey could live to see another check. Another Hollywood check at that. Kelsey had everything to gain, girl, from ensuring that Megan ass survived that night. Because Kelsey's whole career at that point was dependent upon Megan's. So you damn right, I can see Kelsey surely being like, both you niggas are hood. Megan, you already got a mugshot for whipping the nigga's ass, your ex-boyfriend's ass, so we know you about that life. Tory, you a violent ass munchkin. We know you about that motherfucking life. I'm gonna keep the GUN out of both of y'all hands, girl, because both of y'all liable, bitch, to first 48 each other out here in these white people good neighborhood. Agree, yeah? But after Tory, drunk ass, had enough of Megan's drunk ass, who apparently was getting the best of Tory in the roast session, and we already know he got short man syndrome. His ego can't take but so much because it's so frail and so fragile. That's why he whipping all these niggas' asses. It don't take but this much, girl. So she's a woman, so it might take a little bit more than her running her mouth. What added fire to the smoke was that he's intoxicated and she running that mouth. Now, bitch, I'ma fuck you up. So he pooched his ass right on over to Kelsey, wrestled her down for that gun, ripped it from her hands. After she got back in the vehicle, I believe there was a short conversation of, give me the motherfucking gun. They wrestled from the back seat. I'm about to show this bitch what's up. And I do believe Megan when she says that Tory said, dance, bitch, dance, because I don't believe also that Tory intended to oot Meg. I believe he wanted the gun to just intimidate her because he knew he couldn't. This is a superstar. If I do fuck around and kill her ass or injure her ass, it's going to be my ass. But once again, he's drunk and he's an egomaniac. So he's not thinking critically and clearly. And he's operating a deadly fucking weapon at that. So, of course, his intentions were going to completely blow up in his face. I believe he just wanted to just have a dick swinging contest and have the last laugh by shooting at her feet, shooting around her, dance, bitch, dance. But unfortunately, she ended up being hit by shrapnel, ricochet, or bullets themselves, whatever the fuck it was. And then the rest became criminal justice history, girl. I believe the events of that night were complex, that you have to kind of read in between the lines to put it all together. But I do not believe that Kelsey had it in her to shoot her friend. And she did have access to the GUN to keep it out of the two most dangerous motherfuckers in the situation. Tory ended up getting access to that GUN because he's the most violent motherfucker in that situation. And he's been willing to put his freedom on the line many a times by fighting with these niggas. And now he's in prison. And Kelsey has gone on to clout chase through her husband, who's connected to 305 or whatever the fuck it is. And now we're here. One more story. And then I'm going to drop the link. P. Diddy. This long-awaited book that, I'm going to be honest, I didn't even believe was a real thing. I literally, the last time I reported on Kim Porter and this whole situation, I said, look, I'm tired of hearing about a book. The book now is a goddamn urban legend, girl. Unless something substantive can be provided to suggest that there was a book, I don't really care for the narrative anymore. It keeps being echoed, but there's no facting behind it. Well, apparently, baby, the facts then flew down from heaven. And there are some excerpts that have been provided from Kim Porter, P. Diddy's ex-girlfriend and the mother of his children. Book, the long-awaited tell-all that chronicles her dark and abusive relationship to one of the most now infamous and diabolical hip-hop figures, Sean Puffy Combs. Let me get a swish swish. It is wild. But it's easy to do that, Miss Beauty, when you don't give a fuck. When the woman you're sleeping with is just a fuck. She's just one of many fucks as that. So courtesy of Radar Online girl who got the scoop, and if any of y'all got the transcripts, email consciouztv@gmail.com. Radar Online wrote up an article today titled Diddy's Ex Accuses Him of Abuse from Beyond the Grave. Radar reveals explosive contents of Kim Porter's never-before-seen memoir, He Hit Me With a Chair. Diddy's late ex-girlfriend Kim Porter detailed the alleged abuse she suffered at the hands of the disgraced producer who fathered 3 of her children in a never-before-seen memoir. A source whom wished to remain anonymous provided the document to RadarOnline.com and said that it was found on Porter's long-lost flash drive. This is giving me Cassie vibes. I just can't help but think about the initial narrative when Cassie filed her lawsuit, and that narrative was that she also had, you know, Kim Porter's phone, and there was all the salacious tea. I believe that the phone and the hard drive kind of got conflated, maybe intentionally by whoever the source was of that particular narrative. But it just keeps reminding me of that. A source whom wished to remain anonymous provided the document, and please thumbs up, you guys. This helps with the strength of the train. Provided the document to radaronline.com and said it was found on Porter's long-lost flash drive. It was given to the informant by someone very close to Kim and Diddy. Very close to Kim and Diddy. Remember on Tea on Top of Tea, girl, I was saying, once again, all roads lead back to Cassie, because we know that Cassie and Kim had a complicated relationship, both being, you know, exclusive concubines in Diddy's harem. But the informant alleged that someone very close to Kim and Diddy, okay, and was written in months leading up to her sudden death, the individual claim. Because let's read that again. It was given to the informant by someone very close to Kim and Diddy. So the person that gave it to Radar Online got it from someone very close to Kim and Diddy, and was written in months leading up to her sudden death, the individual claim. While we have unable to independently verify those claims, the 40-page manuscript which we have reviewed is filled with explosive anecdotes about the actress and model's time with the rapper born Sean John Combs. In one chapter, Porter wrote about how the jealous rapper's short fuse made her walk on eggshells, and recalls one instance where he allegedly sent her to the hospital after brutally beating her with a chair. Porter was 47 years old when she died at her home in LA shortly before midnight on November 15th, my birthday, 2018. The LA County Medical Examiner listed her manner of death as natural and the cause as lobar pneumonia, a condition marked by inflammation and infection in the lungs. But unanswered questions surrounding her death have resurfaced as allegations of violent behavior stack up against Diddy, including by another one of his exes, Cassie Ventura, alongside a federal sex trafficking investigation. Users on social media have even suggested that Porter's death may have been a move intended to prevent the release of the memoir she never finished, in which our source said she discussed Diddy's alleged involvement in the murder of Tupac. Oh my God. This book contains tea about Diddy's connection to the murder of Tupac. For his part, Combs addressed the Tupac conspiracy theory in 2008. In an interview with allhiphop.com, he said, quote, "This story is beyond ridiculous and completely false." Same thing he said about Cassie's allegations in the lawsuit. "I'm innocent and I'm going to fight for my name. And just because I settled out of court doesn't mean that I'm guilty," only for the Intercontinental footage to come out. And now we doing apology videos that we also are deleting. Neither Biggie nor I had any knowledge of any attack before, during, or after it happened. It is a complete lie to suggest that there was any involvement by Biggie or myself. There have never been any criminal charges, indictments, or convictions against Combs related to the claims. Porter's father told Rolling Stone he was disgusted by a hotel surveillance video from 2016 obtained by CNN that showed the 54-year-old kicking and dragging Ventura. He said it made him wonder whether his daughter suffered similar abuse during her 13-year relationship with the music mogul. What's more, former Bad Boy rapper Mark Curry told the outlet of Porter's relationship with Diddy, quote, "I remember Kim used to go through a lot of stuff. If you live around them, you get to see the toxic relationship. I think every relationship he had that I experienced around him was like that." And that is according to every Bad Boy employee, Aubrey O'Day, the list goes on. Mace, Cassie, blowing up Kid's Cudi car, the several lawsuits pending against him from producers and escorts and The whole nine, bitch, is a mess. Porter described the exchange that led to her hospital visit in the purported memoir obtained by Radar.com, writing, "We were supposed to go out for dinner, but he was in a foul mood." Sean yelled, "What the fuck?" I would have to walk on eggshells as I came out of the bathroom, but I found him holding flowers, so I smiled. Quote, "You brought me flowers." Sean yelled, "No. So who the fuck are they from?" I was bewildered and told him honestly, I don't know, probably just a fan. He threw the attached card at me. I picked it up to read it. Quote, "Sean, he slapped me so hard, I hit the ground." Sean yelled, quote, "Who the fuck were you with the other night?" I looked down at the card that was laying next to me and it read, quote, "The other night was amazing. We must do it again." Sean yelled, "No. So who the fuck are they from?" I was bewildered and told him honestly, I don't know, probably just a fan. He threw the attached card at me. I picked it up to read it. Quote, "Sean, he slapped me so hard, I hit the ground." Sean yelled, "Who the fuck were you with the other night?" I looked down at the card that was lying next to me and it read, "The other night was amazing." Okay, this is another copy and paste. He threw the flowers at me. Quote, "That's not how this works. You have my child. You don't touch anyone unless I allow it." Definitely giving Cassie vibes all over again, forcing her to sleep with other men, controlling her body, her not having no type of autonomy. According to the document, when she tried to explain, Combs threw the flowers at her and said, quote, "That's not how this works. You have my child. You don't touch anyone unless I allow it." She wrote, quote, "Diddy picked up my coffee mug and slammed it against the wall. Coffee flew everywhere as he yelled, 'Who the fuck does nigga think he is?' said Diddy." While desperately trying to calm him down, Porter insisted, quote, "It was just coffee with the producer. It was nothing." She explained, "They met up to discuss maybe me starring in another movie that he wants to produce." Quote, Sean exploded even more. "He wants to put the move on my fucking family." At the top of his lungs, "My fucking family." He flipped the table over, breaking it. It was a heavy table, but Sean is stronger than he looks. I pleaded with him, "Sean, please." He yelled at me, "What?" I tried my best to calm him down. Quote, "He probably didn't know. It didn't come up. You're publicly dating someone else." So he screamed at me, and it somehow seemed even more intense. "So you didn't tell him back off?" "Sean, I didn't." And then out of nowhere, he hit me with the chair. I don't remember anything after that until I woke up in a hospital room. My arm was in a cast, hanging from a sling. My face hurt. My eyebrow was in immense pain, as was my lip. As I came to, the first face I saw was of the man that had put me here. Quote, I pleaded with him, "Sean, please." He yelled at me. Okay, there's another copy and paste. According to the document, Porter said, when she woke up in the hospital, my arm was in a cast hanging from a sling. My face hurt. My eyebrow was in immense pain, as was my lip. As I came to, the first face I saw was of the man that put me here. Quote, Sean asked me with concern in his voice, "How are you feeling?" I responded, "Stay away from me." Quote, "I understand you're angry." I glared at him as I cut him off. "I'm serious, Sean." He spoke blatantly with no energy. Quote, "And tell them what?" "You had a car accident. They'll pity you that you hit your head." He was going to make me look crazy. They were going to believe him. He was a kingpin. Quote, "You're a fucking bastard." Sean spent the next 6 months helping me heal, working his way back into my life and into my bed. I was so damn stupid. And of course, I wasn't cast for either movie. For what I understand, the producer died of pneumonia. You guys have to see this. I have to share. Kim said the producer who sent her the flowers that Diddy used as an excuse to perpetuate all this violence upon her, also ironically died of what she would come to die of later as well. Pneumonia. I have to show, oh my God. Hold on, I gotta blow this up. Do you guys see this shit? Oh my goodness. Sean spent the next 6 months. Hold on, why can't I blow this up? You guys can see it. Sean spent the next 6 months helping me. Hold on, why this shit moving everywhere? Helping me heal and working his way back into my life and into my bed. I was so damn stupid. And of course, I wasn't casted for either movie. What I understand is the producer died of pneumonia. Y'all. Bitch, I am shooketh right fucking now. Girl, I am shook right now. I am shook right now. It goes on. Writing in the supposed manuscript, she said Diddy apologized and told her that I don't know what came over me, but she was afraid for her safety because they were in a private hospital room and no one would hear me. I could scream like my life depended on it, but it wouldn't matter. As she lay in the hospital bed, the musician allegedly said, I quote, I was just so jealous. You know how I am. I'm sorry, baby. I promise I'll never put my hands on you again. I swear. She was caught thinking, quote, I've heard this song one too many times. Porter then wrote that she was concerned Diddy might lie and say she had a car accident, claiming that he told her, quote, they'll pity you that you hit your head. Quote, he was going to make me look crazy. They were going to believe me. He was a kingpin. Yet, she says, Combs spent the next 6 months helping me heal and working his way back into my life and into my bed. I was so damn stupid, and of course, I wasn't cast for either movie. For what I understand, the producer died of pneumonia. It was unclear when the alleged incident occurred, but Porter noted that Combs was publicly dating someone else at the time. That's a clue. The pair met when she was working at his label, Uptown Records, and they began dating in 1994. They went on to have 3 children together, 26-year-old rapper Christian Casey Combs, a.k.a. King Combs, and 17-year-old twin daughters, Delilah Starr and Jesse James Combs. The supposed encounter referenced would have likely occurred sometime between Christian's birth in 1998 and the twins born in 2006, as Porter noted in the memoir that Christian was with the nanny at the time and wrote about delivering her twins in the next chapter. More blues, all my bitches who got their nosology, who got their masters in nosology, Blues Clues. Okay? Put it together. Who y'all thinking he was with between 1998 and 2006, which would have been between Christian's birth and delivering her twins, this time between both those things. The source who gave RadarOnline.com access to the document plans to publish the entire thing under the title, Kim's Lost Words, A Journey for Justice from the Other Side. Who's that major? J-Lo, of course. We don't know who the producer is, but that time frame, well, I don't know how the fuck we would even, y'all. So now we have to ask the obvious question. Is this book a sham? This book is coming 6 years after Kim Porter's death by way of an informant. Radar Online is not able to vet the credibility of the manuscript that's in their hands. Could be a false flag. Could have been something written intentionally to stir up the moment. This could be a fan of Kim Porter who wrote up this manuscript and presented it. Because remember, after Cassie's lawsuit and the video, fans created a petition to get Porter death back reinvestigated, or to get an actual investigation, because it was deemed at the time she died of natural causes. I wonder how they're going to substantiate this book. What do y'all think? Like, how are they going to legitimize it? When was it created? Who was it created by? How do we know this is Kim's book? Why would the book come out now? Her death was an open and shut case. Hospital record, she was never ever reported to be in a serious car accident. That part too. She was hospitalized for extensive injuries. Her arm was broken. This would have been well documented, and he helped her heal for 6 months. So I'm curious to know if there was any point in her career between 1998 and 2006 where Kim had a broken arm. Did she lay low during this time, or did this period not even exist? Because we heard about her getting a broken nose during an altercation on a boat. We never heard that she had a broken arm and she had to be casted up. Clive Davis have connections, and he did turn his back on Diddy. He definitely probably made this happen. Maybe things were found in the FBI raid. They are saying that the feds raided the home. And then remember, T on top of T, you got to check it out, girl. Nosy and La Jew girl was getting into the tea about Gworlllll Simmons, who was really close friends to Kim Porter. And Kimora, alluded to Sean Diddy Combs being behind the burning down of her home. And I had suggested that it's possible that this either came from Cassie. This could have came from Cassie. It also came easily from Kimora. Because remember, the Radar Online says that this person who provided the manuscript to the informant is close to both Diddy and Kim. And maybe Diddy got word, because if it's true, which we all believe that it is, that he unalived Kim because of rumors about this book that she was going to tell all. And because they run in the same circles, we all know that nobody can hold a secret any damn way. So somebody whistle-blew. Somebody told somebody who told somebody who told somebody who told Diddy that Kim is possibly writing a book. Because he knew what he had already put Kim ass through with the abuse, the cheating, the verbal, the mental, the physical. He knew that there was probably a high chance that Kim probably was indeed working on a book. Didn't want to take no chance of something like that ever being published, especially at a time where he still had a lively career. He had only been known at that time really to sham his artists. But other than that, he was a free man living his best life. So he decided to put a hit out on Kim ass. Fast forward, Diddy gets word that the draft to Kim's book, or the official copy, or one of the damn Infinity Stones that Thanos is looking for, is at GWORLL's residence. Since we know that old boy popped a woman in the face with the GUN back in the late 90s, allegedly blew up Kid Cudi's car, abused the living shit out of Cassie Ventura for years, abused the shit out of Kim Porter for years, allegedly had his own best friend Biggie assassinated along with his rival Tupac. We know Diddy is capable. And there, ironically, is a dead film producer who died of the same thing that Kim would eventually come to die of, not to mention that the first coroner for Kim's autopsy ironically died in a weird-ass freak car accident. It's not by coincidence. So word gets back to him that one of the Infinity Stones is at Kimura's home. Burn that shit to the fucking ground. And I don't give a fuck if her, the kids, her nigga's nigga is in that motherfucker. Burn that bitch to the ground. And I don't care if they find their bodies in it. Because once again, Diddy ass think that his ass is Wesley Snipes in New Jack City. Now, is there more than what a copy? This is the only copy. Apparently, this memoir is going to be published. This would be the right time for it to come out because Diddy ass is the most compromised as it relates to the things that he's done criminally at any other time in history. So this would be the time to strike. But do y'all also think somebody would hold on to this book for this long? How much longer would this book have laid in its grave if Diddy had not been under a federal investigation right now? I'm about to drop the link. I want to say this before I drop it. Remember a month ago we were talking about Diddy scrubbing his Instagram. The Cassie video had disappeared. All of his content had disappeared. Everything was gone. And remember, people was asking, like, why? My hypothesis, which I now fully believe, since I got more evidence to support it, I said at the time, I believe that Diddy, because Diddy is like well plugged into the streets. He allegedly is plugged into the Florida Police Department, the LA Police Department, like he got ties to the police as well. Criminals typically run with criminals. So Diddy got access to corrupted power, who's helping to shield him as well. That's probably why he got away with this much for so long. After all, according to Cassie's lawsuit, he paid the Intercontinental Hotel to like, what, $50K to suppress the video. But I think Diddy scrubbed that video because he got word, or his attorneys got word. Because remember, lawsuits, before they hit the court, they come right to your front desk first. Because a lot of times, especially when it comes to high-profile individuals, people are going for a payout in a lawsuit. They rather settle out of court, not have to go through a long-ass, grueling, legal procedures, etc., girl. So, you negotiate prior to officially filing. Your lawyer corresponds with the other parties, lawyers, etc., to figure out, how to take care of this thing without the law getting involved to that extent. Now, mind you, more lawsuits will come to be filed against Diddy like 2 months after he scrubbed his shit. So I was like, there it is. He knew more shit was coming. Therefore, there was no point in having an apology video up to Cassie, because that video was designed to make it appear as though Diddy had only been in a dark place at one point in his life, and that was with Cassie. So, yeah, he could apologize for this one-off. And then he had to, because the video had surfaced after he had lied and said that her claims were untrue. And now he comes making up this whole story about being in a fucked up place and da-da-da-da-da and blah-blah-blah-blah, and he's gotten help since, da-da-da-da-da, because his PR team was going to have him treat what they thought was the end of it. They thought this was the end. They thought this was the end of the shit. Okay, like, girl, probably the Cassie's probably going to be the worst of it, girl. Cassie going to be the worst of it. The video done came out. You got to say something, take accountability, and keep it pushing. Then shit disappears. But he had to scrub the whole thing, because if he just would have deleted Cassie's video, because at the time nobody else knew all the other lawsuits that were pending and had come to his front door, it would have looked weird. It would have made it look specifically about Cassie. So he had to just scrub everything in order to be able to get rid of the Cassie video, which was going to make him look like a clown, because what we were about to know depended upon the way these suits that we didn't know about at the time that were coming were going to turn out, was going to make him look like, girl, no, there wasn't just one period of your life that was dark. You have done a lot of fucked up shit for a long time to a lot of people. So to get rid of the Cassie video, without making it look obvious they were trying to get rid of the Cassie video, they just got rid of the whole IG and just scrubbed everything, so that you couldn't say, oh, you couldn't focus on the Cassie video. He knew more fucked up shit was coming, and I wouldn't be surprised if he knew this book was coming too. So now Diddy's team probably knows, bitch, actually, you can't say shit. Let's not worry about you saying shit. Because the way that the divine feminine and the age of Aquarius girl is trying to spill all your goddamn tea, honey, like, ain't no telling, in fact, when this gonna be over. So we don't need no apologies, no explanations, honey. Like, now we need to avoid your ass going to prison, or figure out, girl, how can we soften prison for you as your legal team? But this book, wow. This just took things to the next goddamn level for Diddy, baby. Diddy is having the worst time in his life. And if they resume the body of Kim Porter, which they should do, they need to test her ass forensically for all type of poisons, toxins, is shit that apparently can be concealed in your blood that's undetectable. They need to resume the bones. And I don't know, because her death wasn't deemed a murder, I don't know if evidence was extracted, because there were bowls of alleged soup, there were water bottles everywhere, so many things that should have been tested. But because her death wasn't deemed a crime, her property and her belongings weren't dealt with like that of a murder scene. So much evidence. If there was anything to incriminate a third party, as bizarre as her situation already was, it would already be gone. Even Kim's dad is wondering, what the fuck is the tea? I'm dropping a link. This is some wild shit, baby. And that psychic chick who predicted all this, who said that, you know, she channeled Kim, apparently. She gave an exact date for when Cassie's lawsuit was going to be coming. And, you know, she's been acting as a vessel for Kim. Apparently, she predicted a lot of the stuff, girl. Let me drop the link super quick. We're not going to be up here long, but I do want to give you guys opportunity to sound off. Okay, what the fuck am I? I'm doing something wrong, y'all. Let me see. Why the fuck? Okay, hold on. I'm going to have to do this old school way. I don't know what the T is. Copy. All right. All right, I just dropped the link. Anybody want to come up and get into it? I'm going to read some comments as you guys hit the link, if you guys are going to hit it. Z says that he allegedly sent people to the hospital and they had similar symptoms to each other. Remember, according to this manuscript from Kim's alleged memoir, the filmmaker also died of alleged pneumonia. Diddy is probably using the same, whatever this is, the same chemical agent is probably being it's the same agent he's using across the board. Across the board. What is it, to be exact? This is some crazy shit. Tasmania says, I believe Diddy is going to jail and he will take himself out in prison, giving Jeffrey Epstein vibes. I believe it too. Wounded Hiller says the father probably knew and was also, oh, wow, you think that the dad was taking hush money. Wow. He could have poisoned her over a long period of time through her food and vitamins, would have had to. Because remember, this weird anonymous friend showed up in the coming days of her death and then came in with her younger daughter, which was weird because why would you bring your young child into a situation with your friend who is exhibiting all of these strange cold flu-like symptoms? Why would you put your child in a contagious situation like that? Why would you endanger your child unless you knew that it wasn't contagious, if you knew that this was poison, if you knew, etc.? This mysterious person was the last person to see Kim alive because this person slept in Kim's bed, woke up to allegedly go to work, assumed Kim was asleep on her side, didn't bother to check on Kim, ask her if she was okay, wake her up, see if there was anything she could do for her before she left. She just left, assumed Kim was sleeping. Kim was actually dead. Who does that? That's bizarre shit. Why would you not? If you coming into a situation to be there for your sickly friend, and you're going to be gone for a work day, which is typically an 8-hour day, and you know how incapacitated your friend is. Hell, Kim had to send her own children to be with their father, Diddy, because she was that incapacitated. She didn't want to make them sick. She could barely care for herself. She needed him to come pick the kids up while she worked through the sickness, this random, bizarre, all of a sudden ass sickness. And then this person comes in and your friend been sick for days. Why would you, knowing that you're going to be gone for, I can see the friend was going to go for like an hour. Like, I'm just going to run to the store and lift or get in the car, go to the grocery store, get some milk and cookies. Bitch, you were going to be gone for a whole work day. And then how useful was this friend when, according to the police report and the autopsy, the bedroom that Kim was found unalive in, that her friend also slept in with Kim, why would it have been in such a disarray? Why would investigators and first responders and firefighters, etc., find half-eaten bowls of soup, water bottle place, and medicine packs and all type of shit? Why would this not have been cleaned up? Because what else was the friend there for, bitch? Clean this shit up. The fuck? It's given that this wasn't no fucking friend. That the bitch who was there was the executor. And she was there to make sure that Kim was in fact going to die. Diddy, in my opinion, allegedly, hypothetically, I gotta say for legal reasons, he needed somebody on the ground. He wanted real time reporting back to home base that Kim ass was gone, that the job had been complete. And then guess what? She was tested. They didn't find no pneumonia, bitch. But yet they still classified her death as pneumonia. Remember, we pulled up the autopsy. We pulled up the coroner's report. They tested her for pneumonia for a slew of things. They didn't find no pneumonia, but they still listed it as such. And then the first coroner died. Now, if Diddy could pay a hotel to suppress this footage, how much more can he pay medical professions? And guess what? Coroners are independent contractors. Coroners can do what they please. They can withhold information. They don't have to give information to police or anything. Like, coroners have a lot of independent power. So it's very easy for a coroner to take personal payout, side money. And if he was able to pay, once again, hotels to suppress that footage, we know Diddy has used his money to suppress other really bizarre things. Matter of fact, the people that work within and around Diddy, his doctor, the doctors of his loved ones, because, you know, narcissists and abusers, they triangulate, they incubate. So all of his family, his children, etc., the women in his life, they probably all see the same doctors within his sphere, because this is how he triangulates. This is how he gets things done, because it's a network. Criminals never work alone. This would be on some RICO shit. And I believe that maybe that's what the feds are getting prepped for, girl. Why it's taking so long with Diddy is because they might turn this into a RICO. Because remember, allegedly, because remember, Diddy's other baby mama or his last girlfriend, she worked for home security or some shit. And apparently Diddy had her to install surveillance footage in Kim's home under the guise that he was renovating Kim's place. But Kim later would have somebody she was dating at the time who also worked in home security or worked within like that field, would later have her dude come and scan her property. And they found all type of hidden surveillance this and hidden surveillance that. You got to be bold with it now, a wounded healer. Now, you already wounded, baby, so this seems to be your calling, sugar. So if Diddy come for your girl, just take it as your purpose, okay? It's in your name, wounded healer, baby. You meant to go down in a blaze of glory, sugar. The coroners are elected officials. He got Florida Police Department in a chokehold. Y'all need to get your autopsies done by a real pathologist if the death is questionable. And get independent pathologists. Get your own private pathologist. Gene O'Deal said the same thing, that Kim's death needs to be investigated. I believe that's what they're getting ready for, Lost and Found. It's going to be, it has to be. He's not working alone. That might be why the feds are taking so long. This ain't just about Diddy. They're trying to scoop everybody ass that has worked within the police department with Diddy, worked within the entertainment industry. Once again, remember, Cassie's lawsuit involves ex-trafficking. Will the hotel be persecuted? Hotel owner, who's going to take responsibility for taking that bribe? A lot of people participated in these cover-ups. Diddy isn't moving alone. Bodyguards, security guards, realtors. That's why I was saying in Tea on Top of Tea. Make sure y'all check that out when y'all done here. They're coming for Diddy ass. And this is going to be one of the hugest celebrity, high-profile cases in history, I believe. Bigger than the R. Kelly shit, bigger than all that. R. Kelly stuff was isolated to ex-trafficking, abuse of minors. Diddy's involved almost everything. Every type of crime, bribery, physical abuse. Remember, there has been questions around him and Justin Bieber's relationship, him and Usher's relationship when Usher was a minor. Apparently, there was conflict between Diddy and Usher, mother, who confronted allegedly Diddy over the inappropriate shit that was going on between him and Usher. There's a lot here. You did it, and a nigga, because of how far reaching his wickedness and evil is, that and a nigga you can pack up overnight, baby. Like, it's too much there. And I believe that the feds want it all. They want it all. They're probably really excited because there's so much content. There's so much content when it comes to Diddy. Everybody gonna get full paychecks because this Diddy shit gonna keep everybody ass on the clock because it's crime in every direction. Not to mention he owes hundreds of millions of dollars in taxes. This shit gonna be wild. And it's gonna be even wilder to see what's all gonna come out of a trial because, baby, I believe that we ain't seen shit yet. I believe that it's people who are gonna take the stand, people who are going to be subpoenaed, people who are going to act as character witnesses, people who I think we're going to be shocked. I think this is going to be a very shocking, dramatic, multifaceted, historical ass trial. It's going to be a lot of names. Like Diamond says, it's going to be a lot of names in the rap industry mentioned. I know want to protect Jay-Z because he's Beyonce's adjacent. And let's not forget how he slapped that girl out of his car and his overall checkered past. That's what Nozi was saying too, honey. They're coming for everybody, baby. A lot of these hip-hoppity ass niggas with their toxic masculinity, they participated in a lot of grape culture. You can go back in Rick Ross lyrics and find him talking about putting Mickeys in girls' drinks. You can go back into a lot of these artists, Lil Wayne, etc., who were glamorizing putting date grape drugs in women's drinks, etc., girl. I think we might be upon the beginning of the end of hip-hop as a whole. All these niggas were the same. They believed that graping was appropriate. They believed in the abuse of women. All that groupie love of the 90s. Girls in the back of the party bus. Girls being taken back to rooms. We already done seen R. Kelly. You got The Dream, who has essay lawsuits against him. You now got Diddy. You got Mystical, who's currently doing time for SA. You got Tory Lanez ass. Chris Brown ass have been sued. I mean, it's so many abusers. Black men who were given wealth by way of being gifted and then used that wealth as a way to express all the evil that was rooted and tooted in a motherfucking ass. It's no telling, girl, what this age has in store for us. It's about to be some dark shit. Baby, hold on to your wigs, girl, because we ain't nowhere near done. We got 2,500 years of this shit. The whole curtain on America peeling back, girl. Everything coming undone. All the bones. Consider this the era where America is going to come out of the closet, bitch. Everything in it. Reparations, racism, corruption in the judicial system, corruption of political power. Look at Trump, guilty of everything. The graves, girl. I wonder if this is what symbolically the scriptures mean when it talks about the dead shall be caught first, girl. That we ain't talking about a literal rising of the dead during the era of judgment, the day of judgment, girl. They be talking symbolically. This is the era of justice, the era where all things in the dark shall become known to the light. I think Biggie Smalls' mother recently had an outburst toward P. Diddy. This is a mess. We're going to be here for this book coming out. We're going to be here for the complete and utter dragging of P. Diddy, patriarchy, of the whole goddamn system coming the fuck down. The demolition, girl, the Reconstruction era is here. As Radar Online said, hold on, let me see if anything else came out about this book. Let me type in some. Did y'all know that Diddy's mother was recently hospitalized for experiencing chest pains? Girl, you better be not taking an Aquafina bottle from your son. I don't know whether he got a damn a life policy out on your ass, Mama Combs, girl, because he got lawyer bills to pay now, girl. He going up against the feds. He got to spend big dollars. Okay, I don't know if he, girl, if he got you on a on some type of a goddamn policy, bitch. But you better make sure that you're not eating over at your son's home, girl. You ain't taking no DoorDash deliveries from him, girl. No pizza, no macaroni, no faucet water, no nothing, bitch. Don't even look him in his eyes. Let me see. Let me type in something. See if oh, that's why my fucking my keyboard fucking dead. Hold on, y'all. Let me see if I can see if anything else came out about this book. Because they saying that the transcript being released. Now, this is a big chunk of it that we read here. Because, hold on, y'all. Let me see if some more shit, girl. If y'all see this transcript come out, bitch, I don't give a damn where you at. I don't give a damn if you in the middle of labor. Email that motherfucking transcript to me. I don't care if you in the middle of traffic. Let me see. Nope. I don't see nothing yet, honey. I don't see nothing yet. All right. So yeah, we're gonna keep an eye on this transcript, girl. Woo! Interesting time to be alive, girl. Interesting time to be alive, girl. Yeah. I'll see y'all tomorrow throughout the week, girl. It's a lot of shit going on once again, honey. We're gonna keeping up with the political shit, keeping up with the celebrity shit, honey, keeping up with all of it, honey. We're working. I need volume 1 and 2, Kim and Cassie on period, honey. Triple team that nigga. If you guys enjoyed the content today, girl, we gave y'all a dope panel. Make sure that you guys hit the Cash App and the PayPal. All information is right there and also in the description box below. Know that you're fucking with it, baby, because we're doing the damn thing in 2024. Any stories you guys want to see covered, you guys can always leave your recommendations and suggestions in the comment section, DM me on Instagram or email me, etc. I did receive an email regarding Chris Brown's the actual court filings along with Chris Brown's this restraining order. So we'll probably come back this week and get into that as well. Thank you to iGreen Tech for the old nasty piece of email, honey. And I love you all. Can you talk about Biden saying that the Supreme Court is changing? The Supreme Court. You're like, send me what you're talking about, because you know I don't know exactly what that means. But yes, I can. But email it or DM me, consciouztv@gmail.com. Send me some links, expound upon what you want me to speak on, and we'll definitely cover it. Thumbs up this video, share, tell a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. Love you all, and I will talk to y'all later.